All right, boys, here we go. Session 2, round 2 today, talking about building our empire, leveling up our game in the areas of money, fitness, relationships, and dating. Yes, there's the distinction between dating and relationships. But, one of the threads we've been talking about the last couple of days is building your empire and what it takes to do that. And that's going to take you to work through the resistance, the energy of, I don't want to do it. You're going to feel that. And that's just the smaller parts of you wanting to stay the same. So it's up to you to lead yourself. And that teaches you something very powerful, that you are not your brain. You are not your thoughts. You are the witness to both of those things. That's a spiritual process. That's what comes through meditation. What comes through having moments of stillness where you witness the way your brain and your mind works. And you learn over time to direct those thoughts, because your brain is designed for survival, not success. So you're just at the mercy of your thoughts. Your brain's going to run wild. It's always going to pursue the safest route because it thinks very tribalistic. It's like, it's still stuck in when we were evolving as a species. And oftentimes, if we stood out in the tribe, that's the way you got kicked out of the tribe. And so now that keeps you small. It keeps you playing safe. And someone who plays small, someone's playing safe, guess what? You don't reproduce. You don't have a lot of success financially. You don't have success in multiple areas of your life. So you're training yourself to think in a different way, to lead your own brain into developing a thought pattern of success, of creating the life that you want. And so that brings up the topic of the day that I really want to kind of hammer in here for just a little bit, is the concept of leadership, what it means to lead. Now, if you didn't watch the earlier session from today, I'd encourage you to go to watch that, because what I talked about there was when you're going through the process of breaking through resistance, that's going to help you build money. Your fitness, same thing, you're going to feel resistance, but this is you leading yourself. And then lastly, you get to this concept of relationships, and really what it takes to lead in a relationship, or that's what a woman is looking for, is for you to lead in the relationship. That allows her to relax into her feminine energy, and then she doesn't dominate the frame of the relationship. But for her to do that, she's ultimately buying into your frame. And for that to happen, you have to buy into your own frame, which means you have to learn to lead yourself. You have to be that guy. To pursue the challenges in life. Like, the obstacle truly is the way. Like, that's the whole fucking thing, right? As you move towards oftentimes what scares you. And I talked about in the last episode how, Joseph Campbell in his book, The Hero's Journey, talked about the cave you fear to enter is the cave that holds the treasure. So that's what you're learning to look for as a man. You're looking for those moments. Like, where is the thing I'm afraid of? Because that's where your growth is. And so leadership is just that. It's all ultimately comes down to being the type of man that is willing to face the storm. A simple analogy, this is very cool, is like most animals, when a storm is coming, they often, some will huddle together, right? They create some warmth. They kind of endure, withstand the storm. But one of the unique things about bison or buffalo is buffalo actually band together and they charge towards the storm. They move towards it because they know if they go towards the storm, it's over faster, it's over quicker. And so you're kind of training your brain to do that in life. And then what happens is then you become somebody that energetically, intuitively, we start to follow, right? And so think about like your own life. You've probably had situations where you had to work for a boss. They were given that position of leadership through a title. They didn't always earn that. Like, I know I'm my life, man. I can remember after I lost my first business, right? This business that grew, was very successful. And I was forced to go get a job for a period of time. And I remember I had just gone through, it's like being, in business war. I won't compare it to actual war at all, but like business war, right? For the last decade, I've been out there battling, building this business, build it to massive levels of success. And then it all got stripped away from me. But I had these battle scars, man, from being in there deep. And I'd learned so much about myself, so much about life, so much about how business works. And, one of the reasons I lost it was the recession of 2008. So a lot of that was outside of my control. Still a lot of things I would, looking back, would do differently, but I just didn't have the understanding. So I learned a lot through that process. And then now I find myself going and getting a job. At the time, I didn't have any college degrees. I've got 3 of them now, right? But at the time, I didn't have any. So I had to go get an entry-level position, because being a business owner, it doesn't do anything on the corporate ladder necessarily. So I go out and I get this job. And I remember my boss, man, it was this female. And I think she could sense probably the actual drive, the actual leadership energy I had within me. And so she did everything she could do to squelch that energy, to keep me small, man. And she was no leader at all. It was disgusting energy, actually. And there's so many out there. There's so many of you that have to deal with that kind of energy. And yeah, I just encourage you to recognize that. That's the takeaway, is like to recognize that leadership through title isn't true leadership. And so if you think that's leadership when you enter into a relationship, this is the key, right? That ain't it. Like, just because you got married now and you're her husband, you don't stop leading. You must continue to lead. That's what she's ultimately looking for in the relationship. And she will continually test you. She'll check the frame. Because look, when a woman goes into a relationship with you, it's very primal. This is embedded in her psychology, deep down in her DNA. Is she's designed to evolve this species. And so she's always checking and testing. Like, can I trust you? This is two things going on. One is, can I trust you? Like, are you the type of dude when the shit hits the fan, you can handle it? And so she's going to test that from time to time. Life is going to test that from time to time. And so a woman truly will follow you if you can hold that frame. If you're like, yo, we might lose it all, but I'm still going to be with you, baby. I'm still going to lock in. We're going to make it. I'm here. She'll ride next to you. Women are deeply loyal in that aspect, but you have to hold the frame. It's when you start to get weak, when you start to break frame, which is understandable. We do it, man. But your lesson is to learn from it. Fucking don't be that guy, right? So you learn to lead through those moments. You learn to stand steady in the storm. You learn to be like the bison, face towards the storm and move right towards it. You get through these moments in life and your woman will stay with you. Because I'm telling you right now, going through my own experiences, like having lost things, right? Businesses, lots of money, cars, properties, all this stuff. My woman stuck with me, but when I broke frame, that's when the actual like pain set in. That's when she was triggered and was primal. And I didn't understand these deep enough at the time. And so ultimately I take responsibility for that. And that's something I've learned, right? And now I can hold very strong frame in the face of any storm, right? And then going through other areas of my life that were very challenging since then, been able to withstand those and go, all right, fucking what's up? Like, we getting through it. We moving forward. That's the energy that we're looking for in leadership. And so now go back and tie that into what I talked about with your work, right? Like maybe a job you've had or someone who had a title, or the example of just being married and now you're the husband. But that's just the title, doc. That don't really make you the leader. It's an energy. And so we're looking to follow somebody. They have to have that energetic state. They have to be grounded. And so I want you to think about what that looks like to be grounded. It's like having your feet like grounded into the earth, like metaphorically, like actually like grounded into the earth, like you're strong, you're stable. The analogy I'll often use is like an oak tree. Like oak tree has these deep roots. That's the cool thing about an oak tree. It's strong, it's stable, it's deep, and it actually can move with the wind. Its leaves and branches move and adjust a little bit, and it creates a massive canopy. And that canopy creates safety and security. So you're looking to develop yourself into the type of man that is like the oak tree. And one of the ways that that happens in life is through pain, is going through challenging situations. And it's important to understand that your pain isn't here to punish you. Your pain is simply preparation to help you grow, to help you become stronger. But when we look at it like it's punishment, we often run from it. And when your woman sees you running, when others see you running, who are supposed to follow you, bro, they got to buy into your frame. And so, you know, I think of it like any leader, right? Like, let's say we're in the face of a real battle, but life battle, a life challenge, even like a coaching situation, a sports moment. What do? We look at the coach and he's going to be like, oh, I don't know, guys. I don't know if we can make it. Then we're all like, what the fuck? Who is this dude? So that's the reality in like a relationship. When you get into a relationship as a man, that's what you got to do. You got to create that grounded energy, be the oak tree, be the canopy. That's what you're looking to create. So that's important, right? Because a woman can sense that energy. And then as you're moving through life, like you're looking to become more of that, create more of those qualities of a leadership, but they have to be very congruent. That's another important aspect of this. Well, what does it mean to be congruent with something? It means that, like, you're aligned to it. It's authentic to you, right? Like, let's say right now I started talking about soccer, right? Like, bro, I don't watch soccer. I don't know anything about it. I could tell you, you know, we got Messi and Ronaldo, and that's about all I know. But if I try to act like I'm talking about soccer and I know about it, you're going to sense it. You're going to see something's off. And so in life, with experiences and stretching yourself, go into the cave that you fear to enter, you get more life experiences. You expand who you are. And with that experience, you become more congruent to things because you have a wider, like you see the field more, right? So growing up, played quarterback. And quarterback, if you're just staring at one receiver, you're limited in your vision. But you want to learn to see the field. So you're like, oh, he's not open. I got to go here, or I got to go there, or where's this, right? So the more experience you have, the more reps you take, you can see the field a little bit more. And so that's one of the things you're developing as a leader. And ultimately, again, this reflects in your relationships. And so if you back up just a little bit, we tie this into dating now, right? Because maybe you are in a relationship, but there's a good chance maybe you're looking to get into a relationship. A woman is looking for those same qualities out the gate, right? And so oftentimes we have a perception of what that looks like. You think it's your looks, you think it's your money, maybe a status. And actually, yes, that is part of it, right? Those are symbols, but it's not the full thing. And so you have to understand she's going to get down to the full thing. That's why a woman tests you when you're dating. Like they literally, it's called a shit test. Like they'll check your frame. Like, are you the guy you actually say you are? Because I'll tell you right now, just because you got money or just because you got looks does not mean you can hold a frame, does not mean you're fit to lead at all. You might be very good at one thing, but just think about it like in life, right? There's certain things that, dude, like if I go to, let's say, a singing class, how to sing, right? Like there's certain areas in my life where I'm going to lead, right? But if I go to that class, I'm not going to lead, right? Like that ain't it. And so you're learning what she's looking for is like, how congruent are you in this part of your life and being the man and growing and expanding? And so that's what's going on in a relationship. She's checking that frame. So in dating, like that's why it's so important to transition from the boy to the man. It's so that you can learn these types of things, that you can get the type of experience that it takes to actually lead a relationship. And if you're the boy, you're not challenging yourself because you're still waiting for mommy and daddy to figure it out for you. You're still waiting to suck on the thumb, suck on the binky. You got to take the binky out. You got to step into life and allow yourself to be the man, allow yourself to go challenging situations, seek those types of things out. Like if that is your situation, you want to look to eliminate those luxuries as fast as possible. You want to create what's called evolutionary pressure. Evolutionary pressure will call you into a different energy. It'll push you forward to actually make more money, right? Which will be a challenge in your life. You're going to have to think sharper. You're going to have to stay in shape. You're going to eat better food. Like you're going to have to always be on your game. And that's going to make you sharper at the end of the day. That's what evolutionary pressure is. And again, tying this back to what I talked about earlier, a woman is selecting you because it's embedded in her DNA. And she's designed to help evolve the species, right? It's evolution. So what is she looking for? Is she looking for the guy that can survive evolutionary pressure, who can go through challenging things, who can figure shit out? Because if she reproduces with that guy, guess what? Their kid is going to be like that, right? The kid's going to be able to handle shit, go through situations. Or if it's the fan, she's also checking like, is this dude going to run? And then I have to raise the kids on my own. And I don't want to raise some fucking beta bitch kid. I want to raise a kid that's strong and adaptable. So it's literally like not even conscious. I don't even, most women, I'm slightly assuming here. I largely understand that a woman isn't consciously thinking this. It's more of a feeling. It's an intuition. So why a woman's intuition is very strong, right? It's calibrating a lot of these things, like intuitively. Are you the man that you say you are? And so if you're not in a situation that's applying evolutionary pressure into your life, into who you are, then you're going to struggle when it comes to dating. Because as soon as you meet a chick, she's going to be able to feel that energy from you. She's going to be like, I don't know, man. It's going to be the boss. Remember I talked about earlier, who is given a title. You're a man by the way you look, but are you really the man? So that's what she's checking. And she's going to find out, oh no, you're still the boy. She ain't going to want to date you long term. She ain't going to want to reproduce with you. I mean, you might hook up, you might have some different connections there, but in the long term, it's going to be very hard to have a relationship. And so there's a nuance, because a lot of times what a guy will do is they'll go over to what we call the provider role, right? I want you to think of these two opposite sides. You have like a swag type energy, right? And then you have this provider energy. So a lot of guys think the solution is to go over this provider energy. You know, oh, let me get more degrees. Let me get a better job title. Let me get more money. Let me get more savings, right? And you move into this provider energy, but the provider energy is very boring energy. Fucking put her ass to sleep. And so you always want to be manufacturing at the same time your swag type energy, because this is what's attractive to them, right? Because actually, someone who's strong, someone who has that more alpha kind of evolutionary type energy, they can actually create and hold that frame much easier, right? That swagger type of energy, because their brain doesn't have to think like that. They're like in the moment, they're in flow. And so you're always, and they have attraction that comes towards them. That's actually attractive to a woman. When a woman sees other women attracted to you, what is that telling her primitive brain? It's saying, oh, like he's in high demand. And so if you move into provider role, bro, you're not attractive. You're not in high demand. It's facts. You think it might be, but it ain't, dude. Think of like fucking some of these like Bill Gates vibes. Like, dude, that's like that ain't attractive, homie. Like that ain't attractive. And so you want to have this more like swaggered out kind of like Travis Scott, you know, bing, 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 like that kind of energy. And so ideally, you know, you're gonna have to probably oscillate between back and forth, right? You have to move a little bit like in the middle, right? Some kind of balance that works for you. But make sure you don't lose that swagger type energy. That's going to help you from the evolutionary standpoint. And again, they can sense that. It's embedded in their DNA. So always comes back to leadership. That's what they're looking for. That's what you're looking for in yourself. You have to learn to lead yourself. And then, like I said, dude, true leaders, bro, they don't even need a job title. It's just in the energy, right? They show the woman, I got you. We're going to get through this. Like imagine you're grabbing a woman's hand and you're like, hey, let's go check this out. Like, what is that energy that you have? Because a lot of y'all motherfuckers, she's grabbing your hand and dragging you around. That's where we're at as a society right now. And, you know, I hear from a lot of women just through the work I do and stuff. And because I do a lot of work with men. And so they are the ones that often reach out and they're like, yes, more of this. Yes, help the guys. Men really struggle with this. And it's facts, bro. Is because largely we have this society that's designed in a way to take away your power as a man. And it's simple as this. It's the things that create comfort, right? There's too much comfort. It's the shitty food, it's the TV, it's the phones, it's the pornography, it's the video games. Look, dude, you got to figure out like how you engage with those, but just realize what they are, right? They're traps, and you got to realize the trap and see it for what it is. And your goal is to avoid the traps and work out of them. As you move out of those, what do you do with that time? What do you do with that energy? You invest it into you. You go do the challenging things. You go do the new thing. You stretch yourself. You expand. And what does that create? Well, there you go. There's your swagger energy. There's your like that connection to your primal type of energy. Evolutionary pressure. You keep applying it. You set new goals, new benchmarks for yourself. Not that you're always in the gap. The gap is like, I'm here now. This is where I want to be. And then you exist in the gap. You have to honor where you're at. Go, all right, this is where I'm at. I'm cool with that. I accept that. At the same time, I'm going here. I'm going to create that. I'm going to go to that situation in life. Like, look, dude, life is going to fucking hit you. It's going to knock you down. It's going to bring you to your knees. That's just a reality at multiple points in life. And you want to make sure, dude, like that you develop yourself into the type of person that can withstand those moments in life. You got to be able to go through those storms. You got to be able to face those storms because they're going to happen. And if you find yourself in a relationship with a woman and you ain't built for it, you ain't built for that moment, it's going to cause chaos. She's probably going to bounce. She'll probably cheat on you. Just the reality of what it is, dude. It's primal. It's built into their DNA. They're going to look for a guy who can take care of them in that moment. But look, you have to understand that you can be the dude. You can become that guy. And you start simple. You start small. Like I talked about in the other session, right? You work out. You go to the gym. The gym is very honest, right? You lift weights. It's hard. Your muscles burn. They hurt a little bit, but you get reward from it. You get like instant feedback. And then you think about maybe it's expanding your career. It's expanding how you create money. It's expanding how you think. It's putting yourself around people that maybe stretch you and challenge you a little bit. People that make you feel a little uncomfortable just because of where they operate in life. Like you keep evolving, you keep challenging, you keep growing. And then you don't have to think about being the leader. It just disappears. You just become that motherfucker. And then when the life hits you like a fucking brick to the face, you're built for it. You're built for that moment. And look, along the way, man, you're going to have a lot of people who are going to potentially try to pull you down because as you climb, it's the crabs in the bucket. They want to keep you the same, right? Like literally that's the thing a crab will do. It'll pull the other crabs down. Like, no, don't get out. Don't grow. Don't get better than us. Fuck that. Most people only see, they can't even see you. They see a reflection of themselves. And so you just have to realize that. Like they don't even see me, man. They just see the reflection of themselves. And if you're ever winning and they're not, what do they see? They see their inefficiencies. That's sad. That's why you got to be careful with the friends you allow in your life, right? You got to allow yourself to be around winners. People are moving forward. People are executing in life, have energy, have momentum. because you're going to add that into your bucket. You're going to create more momentum, more success for yourself. That's the real thing, momentum, right? Momentum is one of those things that you can't exactly put your thumb on, right? There's no formula for momentum. I can't say A plus B, a little 2 here, and we're moving this here, we're putting a line there. There ain't no formula for it. Like momentum is just a real thing that you can feel. You've watched a sports game, or maybe you played sports, and you can just feel a shift. Like, damn, something switched right now. That's momentum. And so you want to do that in your life. You're always looking, how can I create momentum? And then ultimately tying this into the larger concept, right? This is the brotherhood empires, that we build your empire. That's what you're doing. That momentum and that leadership naturally starts to help you build your empire. Like take a topical view of what we just talked about, right? I challenged you to grow who you are, to step into more challenging situations in life, to exercise, to learn how to make money in different ways. And you just keep doing that, and it'll expand, it'll grow. And then what starts to happen? Well, guess what? Damn, now you're actually building something. This becomes your empire. And then what you're doing, my friend, powerful point right here, is then you invite somebody into that, right? You've built your empire. And that's ultimately what a woman is doing. She's going, when she gets in a relationship with you, what she's really doing, again, I don't know if maybe consciously, sometimes they do, right? But not all the times. But at least unconsciously, when they select you, they're going, all right, I'm saying no to that guy who's got the yacht. Maybe guy hitting them up, got the yacht. Social media nowadays, man, they get up from all kinds of people. My ex used to get hit up from professional athletes and shit, like legit, like some of. And, I'm saying no to the dude who wants to take me on a vacation to Cabo. And I'm saying no to this handsome guy over here. And I'm saying no to this guy over here. So I'm choosing you, right? That's ultimately what they're doing. They're saying no to all these other options. And they're giving years of their life and ultimately years of their reproductive value. So they can only produce for a certain amount of time, right? Reproduce for a certain amount of time. So they join your journey, the empire you've built. And so, motherfuckers, look, dude, you got to get out and build that empire. But you have to build the empire. Because if she joins your empire right now, what is it? Like, take an honest evaluation of it. Like, what does your daily routine look like? Like, what does she join? Monday, go to work and fucking, come home and got a couple shows I like. And then, Thursday nights, every now and then I get together with a friend and we play cards. And that's about it. Come on, man. Like, what are we doing? I take my 1 week vacation every year. And, usually I'm too tired, so I really don't actually take a vacation. Bro, you're missing it. That's why you got to build your journey, dude. You got to build the empire. Like, so you're like, yo, Monday nights, I like to go do this. Tuesday nights, we go work out. Wednesday nights, we hitting the freaking improv class. Thursday nights, I got a group of people we get together with. We go dancing, we go out. Friday nights, we go in here. Saturday nights, we chilling, we watching movies. Sundays, we go out, we explore, we hike. And these are the kind of people I'm connected with. You get to meet these cool people and these cool people. Oh, and I like to travel, I like to go to these places. Like, that's what you're building, dude. And you're inviting them into that world. That's actually what makes you attractive. You think it's about looks, you think it's about money, but it's your journey. It's your empire that you're building, bro. Like, that's the thing that actually makes her attracted to you. And that's ultimately what's going to make her stick or not. Like, she gets in there and she's like, yo, this is fucking sick. And then here's the powerful point. Another powerful point, man. Dropping some motherfucking gems on y'all. Is the empire that you build also gives you confidence, because then you understand at like a core level what you're actually inviting them into, right? Like, let's say you built your whole life up on just your looks, right? Like, I know some dudes like this, like fucking Ken Barbie looking doll motherfuckers, right? But their life is shit. And so they actually like have low self-esteem. Like, they look really good, but they know at the end of the day, man, they're sleeping on the homie's couch. They got no direction, no drive in life. They're just kind of fucked up. You know what I mean? They're partying all the time, overdoing the partying. So you got to like manage your shit. Like, be careful with the alcohol, all the excessive party, man. Just be careful with that shit, right? Like, work on your game, work on your empire, but don't get overly obsessed with it, because you still got to be the guy that's loose, has swagger energy, that can take them out, can dance, can laugh. That's part of it, right? You got homies like that. If you come around me, you're going to laugh. We're going to have a good time. We're going to go do this. We're going to go do that. So that gives you confidence, because you put time and energy into building certain relationships, certain situations, certain places you can go, certain things you can do. You've built your empire, and that is something that, one, you protect. Here's massive important point, right? This is where a lot of guys fuck it up. You spend time, you listen, you're like, all right, Troy, I got it, man. I'm gonna build this empire. I'm picking up what you're laying down. I get what you're saying. I'm going to join the brotherhood, which means subscribe. Make sure y'all motherfuckers hit that subscribe button. Jump up in here. And then you're like, all right, I'm going to build my empire. You start doing it. You're putting time, energy, effort into it. You're invested into your future. You're invested into this empire that you grow. And then you find a girl. You're like, wow, I really like this girl. She's amazing. And she decides she likes you. She joins your journey. She gets to experience this empire that you built. Big, small, doesn't matter. Just something cool, right? Like you got cool things you're into. Well, that's enough, dog. It ain't got to be, quit comparing yourself to some fucking dude who's got the yacht and the mansion and all this shit. You know what I mean? Like the reality is, bro, those things don't make you happy. Like they really don't. So happiness and having a good time and being able to laugh is a value proposition, just FYI, right? And also maybe you don't have to own those types of things. You can just have access to them. So it means you can go stay in a dope Airbnb from time to time, right? But here's where guys fuck up. Spend time, energy, investment into building your empire. You get the girl and then you stop the journey. And then it gets fucking ruined. Next thing you know, relationship sucks, gets toxic. Because listen, you're gonna have to do a lot of inner work through this too. That's another concept we'll talk about another time. But you have to make sure you heal your own kind of traumas. They probably got certain traumas. They got to be the type of person that's working on themselves. And a lot of times, the first relationship, the second, the third, the fourth, who knows? They ain't gonna have done that work. And so the relationship struggles, it gets toxic, and you end up breaking up. Sometimes, not all the time. If you learn how to lead, do these different things, you'd be all right, right? But when it does, you stop your journey. And all that shit starts to shrink. You move back on that provider role. You lose your swagger. Maybe your money gets fucked up. You're not thinking differently. You quit connecting with certain friends. Then you kind of shrivel down. It's like you have to restart it all over again. Don't fucking do that, man. Don't ever do that. You never stop your journey. You continue on your journey. You stay on your purpose. And that's like part of the key, right? Is as you move through your journey, you're kind of crafting out your purpose. You're feeling into what speaks to you, what calls you forward, what really gives you that motivation and incentive to do more and be more. That's ultimately like what that does, right? All this, like we're talking about, naturally impels you to be more. Because when you start to lead in a relationship, you're going to have to be more. When you start to lead in a business, you're going to have to be more. When you start to think of different ways to create money, you're going to have to be more. When you have to go to the gym and challenge yourself over and over, you join a martial arts class or you do something new that's uncomfortable, it challenges you to be more. And as you grow, ultimately what you're doing is you're letting go of older parts of who you are and you're developing these newer parts of who you are. You're accessing those. And that's growth. That's what growth calls you to do, is you kind of organically step into these things. So that's the pattern. You continue to move forward. You don't stop the journey. You invite them into it. And look, it switches the frame, because a woman is often going to be in like the abundant frame, right? Meaning they have lots of options. Like a decent looking woman has lots of options. And because guys, that's how we are, man. We're just hardwired for like, oh, it looks good, right? So she get a lot of attention. I'm going to challenge you to think broader than that, right? But they're often be an abundant frame. But when you've built your empire, you're focused on it, that kind of changes the dynamic, right? It's called the buyer-seller dynamic. So now you're changing what that means. You're like, wait a second. I spent so much time and energy building this, and this fucking journey, this empire is so dope that I don't know if I want to invite you onto it. You're more selective. And so a woman might come onto the journey, but again, you keep it moving. You keep doing your thing that's actually very attractive. A woman is always going to be attracted to a man who has a vision, a man who has a purpose. So you keep going, you keep pushing yourself. You're building your journey, or you're on your journey, building your vision. You don't stop, right? And then you're like, yo, I don't, maybe she starts fucking pecking at you, right? She starts trying to take you down a little bit. She's got some low vibe, negative energy. Those are other concepts we can talk about at some point. We will talk about. She's pecking at you. She's got some low vibe energy. And so you check her, you screen her. You're like, this ain't working for me. She's trying to slow your roll, fuck with your empire. You got to go. And you keep it to moving. And then you find another woman eventually who goes, wow, this is amazing. I appreciate being part of your life. I'm honored to be on this journey with you. And I want to help you and support you as we move forward, right? And she's going to bring certain things and certain qualities about herself and her life that she's worked on and developed into your journey. And that is the one that gets to stay. So my friend, that's the fucking blueprint right there. There's nuances to it that we'll dive into, we'll carve out, but that's fucking transformational shit right there. And it all starts with leadership, my friend, learning to lead yourself. You are the witness to your thoughts, the witness to your mind. You're the observer. That's all, my friend. So take some time to meditate, get some stillness. Start right there. Calm your mind, calm your thoughts, and then direct yourself towards the life that you want. Cool. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, join the brotherhood. Let's build the empire. Till next time, deuces.